a California campground fire rescue straight out of Hollywood, an Arizona campground sells for a record price, and Alabama state parks join the 21st century. It's time for the RV and camping news. Welcome to the RV Miles channel. Here we talk about the latest in RV and camping news, along with travel destinations, our personal travels, and a whole lot more. Y'all have been really responsive to these RV and camping news videos that we've been putting out lately. So we're going to continue them, but we're going to make a couple changes. Instead of a 20-minute video every couple weeks or so, we're going to put more out more often and a little bit shorter on focused topics. So on this video, we're talking about campgrounds across the country and travel during the coronavirus pandemic, as well as all the natural disasters that have been happening around the United States. It was a scene out of a Hollywood movie, but it was all too real when two National Guard helicopters flew in and out through thick smoke, facing fire, darkness, mountains, high winds, and countless obstacles to rescue nearly 200 campers from the Mammoth Pool Reservoir earlier this month in California's Sierra National Forest, just south of Yosemite National Park. The fire encircled the entire reservoir in just 45 minutes. The smoke was so thick you couldn't see anything, but you could hear the blades of the helicopter, said Daniel Crouch to the New York Times. Before the helicopter's arrival, Mr. Crouch had waded into the shivering cold water of the lake up to his neck to escape the smoke and embers. He would go underwater, then come up just to take a breath, then resubmerge until he was rescued. The two pilots who led the rescue said it was the most harrowing flying they have ever done in their careers. They were told the wind conditions were too dangerous to fly through, and crew members became nauseated from the smoke. They contemplated turning back, but didn't. Over 900 wildfires were sparked in the state of California due to an intense round of lightning storms, including the first, third, and fourth largest fires the state has ever seen. Other western states are also facing intense blazes, and the smoky haze can be seen in the sky as far as Europe. Several fires along Oregon State Highway 22 swept through the Fisherman's Bend recreation site near Mill City, destroying virtually all of the popular Bureau of Land Management campground east of Salem in the Cascade foothills. One shining light: upon inspecting the site, workers found the American flag that had not been lowered upon evacuation still proudly flying over the charred ground. Since the beginning of the pandemic, New Mexico has been one of the most aggressive states in closing down tourism and recreation in order to protect its residents, while virtually every other state has reopened public campgrounds. The Land of Enchantment has only now reopened most of its state parks to overnight camping, but only for state residents. Camping will be available by online reservation only, and a valid New Mexico license plate is required to complete your transaction. If you're planning to travel but want to stay away from coronavirus hotspots, Google has a new tool for you. Beginning this week, the Google Maps app will display 7-day averages of new COVID-19 cases on a map layer, showing if cases are increasing or decreasing. Fires in the coronavirus aren't the only acts of God inflicting uncertainty on camping and travel. Campgrounds are assessing damage after several parks in the Gulf Shores and Florida Panhandle areas were closed, and others were without power, water, or sewer after Hurricane Sally swept through. Fortunately, closures were mostly only temporary, with most parks reopening as soon as power was restored. Some reported flipped RVs and damage due to falling trees. Is it better for a campground to call itself an RV park or an RV resort? I've long heard people say they didn't consider any facility that has resort in the title due to price, and others who long for high-end resort-style amenities every time they camp. I've personally stayed in excellent places called campgrounds or RV parks with every amenity under the sun, and some RV resorts that were rundown disasters. But RV park marketing expert David Straight of StraightAnswers.com is offering some advice on campground nomenclature. He says that according to Google's data, RV and campground resort consumers rarely search using the words RV resort. Instead, they search for RV parks, which only helps confirm my theory that most people aren't fooled by the term resort. In this day and age, with so many options for reading reviews and viewing pictures, or even 360-degree campground drive-through videos, it's all about the experience a campground can provide, and not the name. Speaking of high-end resorts, what do you think is the most that has ever been paid to purchase a campground? An Arizona RV resort in Apache Junction with 1,119 spaces just sold for $88 million. The sale of the Superstition Sunrise RV Resort marks the single largest transaction in Arizona's history for a mobile home or RV resort. The 55-plus park might be in the current hotspot for snowbird wintering, but according to an article from RVTravel.com, that could change. As climate change causes temperatures in the south to rise, many snowbirds are looking to winter in more moderate climates. Researchers at the University of California in Irvine analyzed how increasing temperatures are likely to impact three key components of the tourism industry in the region: climate in the winter snowbird season, visitation at an outdoor tourist attraction, and the likelihood of extreme heat at an annual festival. Their analysis predicts a shortened snowbird season, which they define as the time of year with daily maximum temperatures below 86 degrees. The Alabama State Park System has launched an online reservation tool that allows you to look at site availability in the state's 17 parks throughout the course of a year and book online. Welcome to the 21st century, Alabama. Finally, Michelob ULTRA Pure Gold is looking for a new CEO, Chief Exploration Officer. The company will pay you $50,000 to travel by camper van to national parks over the course of the next 6 months. They're even providing cash for expenses like gas and camping fees. You have to have an affinity for nature photography, be willing and able to hike through outdoor areas, have a valid driver's license, and be 21 years old. No word on whether you have to drink Michelob Ultra. You have till September 30th to apply. That's it for this RV and camping news update. We hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. And if you want more videos like this, please click the subscribe button and the little notification bell to get notified every time we put one out. Make sure to also check us out every week on the RV Miles podcast, available on any podcast app and also right here on YouTube. See you next time and keep logging those RV miles.